Hi everyone, it's Safrina Kadri from Feng Shui and Prosper.com, and today I have a very juicy topic that I want to talk about. As per usual, this is a simulcast, so you're going to see me looking at two different cameras here. I have the Google Hangout camera there, as well as my Periscope camera. So if you guys see me darting my eyes, that's the reason why. I'm not, I'm not uncomfortable with looking straight into the camera. It's just that I'm looking at two different ones. Anyway, as the title today suggests, I am going to be busting some myths about Feng Shui Ba Gua. Okay, in Chinese we call Ba Gua. And this is something that I see a lot online. People are, any Feng Shui enthusiasts, you see them, actually I'm just gonna fix my camera a little bit here. You see people getting really worried about, oops, getting very worried about the Bagua map that is so, in terms of the Bagua information that is so prevalent out there in books and online. And I'm going to show you two different types of Baguas. One is what I call fast food Feng Shui, and the other one is how classically the classical information that is in the Bagua, and how myself and other classical Feng Shui practitioners actually use the Bagua, or in more cases than none, we don't use it as much compared to other Feng Shui information out there. So for those of you who have been reading up on Feng Shui and you are losing sleep on your Bagua, I will be busting some myths. I might be making a lot of you guys very uncomfortable and probably very upset, because you have likely based a lot of your Feng Shui placement on the fast food Feng Shui Bagua. So we are going to get started here. So for those of you, just in case you don't know what a Bagua is, it is pretty much, oh, I'm probably gonna, it is pretty much this octagonal form here, and you see the trigrams surrounding the octagon, and you see this in Chinese homes and Chinese stores a lot, especially the Bagua mirror. Most of the time it's placed above a front door, which again is a practice that is largely practiced, but not necessarily a good practice, because it can actually bring quite a lot of negative energy, not just to yourself, but also to potentially to your neighbors. So the octagon is the Bagua that I am talking about. And the most prevalent form of Bagua out there in books and online is this one here. Well, the one that I found is actually not octagonal, but, well, the octagon is here, I guess. And I'm going to try to bring this a little bit closer to the webcam so you guys can see. But it pretty much sections off a space into 8 different directions, right? So all these directions, based on this fast food Bagua, all directions encompass one aspiration, so to speak. So for instance, the career Bagua is supposedly the north, the helpful people in the northwest, children or creativity in the west, relationship and marriage in the southwest, the fame corner in the south, wealth and abundance in the southeast, family or children, actually in some schools they actually say health as well, or your past, and knowledge and spirituality in the northeast. This, my friends, if you have been doing your Feng Shui placements based on this is what I call fast food Feng Shui. It's new. I think it only started in the 40s or the 60s, so it's a very, very new form of Feng Shui that is watered down. And if you are one of them who believe that your that your money corner is in the southeast, is only in the southeast. Your relationship corner is only in the southwest. Your career corner is only in the north. You need to forget about this one. I'm sorry, I'm probably breaking a lot of feng shui hearts here. That is, and it's very likely the reason why you're not getting any results, or if you are, it's a small minority of you. It's probably just coincidence, to be honest with you. Don't feel bad. This is how I started as well in my feng shui journey, because this is all that's out there, right? And we take that as the age-old truth that this is how feng shui is done, but actually it is not. So in my 12-week online program, we actually talked about the Ba Gua quite a bit, because it did confuse a lot of my students, which is part of the reason why I wanted to talk about it today on this scope/hangout. So what is the real Ba Gua? The real Ba Gua is this one. And this is what these are the main things that they represent. Okay, for the scope, you're not really seeing my face, but so the south is middle daughter, and in terms of so the 8 directions, as opposed to the New Age Bagua that has the aspirations, in the classical Bagua, I'm going to call it New Age and classical Bagua, okay? In the classical Bagua, each direction represents a family member, and it also represents a body part, okay? And that is how it was used back in olden China by the classical feng shui grandmasters and all that. So the south is middle daughter, and in terms of body parts, it's the eyes and the heart. The southwest is the mother, and it didn't print out properly, but in terms of body part, it's abs and skin. If you think about mothers give birth, right? So obviously the abdomen is the domain of the matriarch, as well as the skin. The west is youngest daughter, and body parts wise, it affects the mouth and the lung. The northwest is the father, and the father being the head of the family, the body part is head. Okay, that's the easiest for me to remember, the head and the abs for mothers and fathers respectively. So that's the northwest. The north is middle sun, and it affects ear and kidney. The northeast is youngest sun, and it affects the hand. I'm just making sure that the screen captures this as well. The east is the oldest son, and it affects the feet. And then the eldest daughter is the southeast, and that affects the buttocks. So how do we use this? When you combine classical Bagua with, let's say, flying star feng shui, so for instance, the last year when the 5 yellow, or the number 5, flew to the northwest, then the fathers or the patriarchs among the family are very likely the ones that had a very challenging year last year. And I did see that quite a bit in my client's experience, as well as my own husband's experience. Obviously, I feng shuied him as best as possible, but last year still had a bit of a hiccup for him. Okay, and then it also affects the head. So it's likely you'll see more people having, let's say, migraines and headaches, or head injuries and things like that. So when you marry the classical Bagua with the flying star feng shui, that's when classical feng shui students can pinpoint who in the family are more likely to be affected, positively and negatively, in a specific time frame, and that's how we use it. But to be honest with you, in my professional consultation, I don't really look at even the classical Bagua so much. Sometimes it does give a little bit of an insight in terms of what could potentially happen to the family members, but it's not the end all and be all. As opposed to the fast food feng shui, the Bagua seems to be the starting point of any feng shui placement, and that is definitely not the case for classical feng shui. The Bagua almost becomes like a secondary, even like a third level information that we bring into consultation, at least the way I do mine anyway. And the way that I've been trained, we do use the trigram in a more deeper level, but in terms of the Bagua itself, not much. So that is what I wanted to talk about for this scope and for this hangout. And you know, it is definitely something that needs to be said, because I think 95% of feng shui enthusiasts out there are using this one. Okay. And it's, you know, I hate to break it to you. You have to stop wasting your time and even your money if you're buying stuff for placements. Stop, you know, transition from this to this. And if you want to learn more about how to do feng shui based on classical feng shui, I have, and here is my shameless plug here, I do have a Feng Shui 2016 online event that is happening this coming Sunday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here in Toronto, Canada, so it's Eastern Standard Time. And I already have people from all over the world registering with me, so they're going to be joining me, where I will be talking about classical feng shui, you guys. How is the energy for 2016? How it's going to be affecting your homes? And I'll be talking about homes in period 7 and period 8, meaning if you've moved into your current space after 1984, then the information that I'm going to be sharing on the online event will be very pertinent to you. You definitely want to know where are the negative energies and how it's going to be affecting you, how to remedy those negative energies. And you also want to know where are the auspicious energies for 2016 and how you can capitalize on that. If you want to, if you've been doing fast food feng shui all this time, new age feng shui, western feng shui, whatever you want to call it, if you've been doing that all this while, I would love to have you join me on my online event. You go to this website to register. I don't have early bird pricing anymore, but it's still worth checking out. It's fengshui2016.instapage.com. Okay, fengshui2016.instapage.com. For the Google Hangout, I'm going to leave the, I'm going to have a sign-ups annotation so you can click on that. For the Periscope guys, you're going to have to look this up, fengshui2016.instapage.com. It's all about classical feng shui. I am not going to be wasting any time on, you know, so pretty much 100% of the event will be dedicated to how feng shui was done the way it's supposed to be done. Okay, and I am also going to be opening up the event for for Q&A answers and all that. So if you want to learn more about how to properly do feng shui, make sure that 2016 is a stronger year for you and you want a little bit of access to me to ask me questions, your burning feng shui questions, I would love to see you on November 15th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, I'm going to give it to you guys again for the Periscope peeps. fengshui2016.instapage.com, and it will be jam-packed. It will be fun. And likely towards by the end of it, everyone's probably going to be, you know, a little bit of an information overload, because I do aim to over deliver. So I'm going to leave you here. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at Safrina@fengshuiandprosper.com. If you guys are, if I am new to you on Periscope, please follow me or follow me either on Periscope or on Twitter. and hope to see you guys on the 15th. Thanks so much for your time. Take care.